Hi, good afternoon. My name is Jonas, and I'm pleased to present this final reflection on my supervised internship. Over the past weeks, 8 weeks actually, I had the opportunity to preach classroom theory with institutional practice focused on cybersecurity governance, privacy frameworks, and regulatory alignment. Much of my work was informed by the CIS 600 and CIX 610 courses that really challenged me to rethink how compliance and ethics shape strategic leadership. Let's talk about some core contributions. The internship was centered on comparing and evaluating real-world institutional policies. I conducted benchmarks analysis aligned with GLBA, FERPA, and NIST, and I could identify several improvement areas, especially in access control and training initiatives. I also assessed quantum computing threats and suggested strategic adoption paths for post-quantum cryptography. On the technical side, I configured firewall rules and turned IDS alerts to reinforce policy enforcement and operational clarity. That's important to mention some strategic insights. One of the key insights was recognizing that privacy and governance aren't just administrative checklists. They are foundation to institutional resilience. Again, I'd like to emphasize this point. We need to recognize that privacy and governance aren't just administrative checklists. They are foundation to institutional resilience. Technical decisions must always reflect ethical principles and regulatory mandates. I learned that real change happens when security practices are supported by transparent leadership and stakeholder alignment, not just compliance checkpoints. Let's take a look about some recommendations. Based on my analysis, I proposed several actionable recommendations. These include developing modular policy assessment tools tied to NIST standards, integrating post-quantum cryptography into long-term planning, launching training that is rooted in contextual use case, and finally, building audit schedules that align with strategic KPIs. These steps promotes both accountability and adaptability for the all kind of companies. Let's I now I'd like to share with you some personal perspectives. This experience sharpened my both my technical fluency and executive communications. I learned to translate complex risk factors in strategic recommendations and led conversations that balance ethical governance with institutional priorities. The internships confirmed my directions toward cybersecurity leadership, and now I can really affirm I am better prepared to contribute to risk-informed decision making in any organization settings. Now I would like to go to the final reflections and conclusions. As I reflect on this internship experience, I realize how transformative it's been not only in sharpening my technical capabilities, but in deepening my understanding of governance and institutional resilience. I was more than applying theoretical concepts from CIS 600 and CIX 610. It was about integrating those concepts into live environments where compliance, ethics, and strategy intersect. I had the opportunity to benchmark policy frameworks aligned with GLBA and FERPA, configure firewall rules, and reinforce governance postures, and evaluate threat vectors that challenge institutions in the age of quantum computing. Each task strengthened my abilities to link granular technical actions to broader institutional goals, a skill I believe is essential for cybersecurity leadership. This journey also reinforced the power of stakeholder communication, translating post-quantum cryptography risks into clear action recommendations, or drafting executive memos that reframe access control and training policies taught me that clarity drives impact. Ethical reasoning and collaboration dialogues were central to every single step. Ultimately, this internship was a proving ground, a space where my passions for privacy by design governance evolved into a strategic blueprint for institutional maturity. As I prepare for future leadership roles, I carry forward this foundation with a commitment for integrity, adaptability, and innovation. Thank you for being part of this learning journey and for giving me the opportunity to contribute meaningful to our shared missions. Bye bye.